Bug snacks.
We're going. Hey, everybody. I'm glad the first word of the stream was bug snacks. And we're playing the Great Ace Attorney.
Yeah? Do you want to start off on more of a banger? I don't have it. Which is not bug snacks. Why have we not streamed bug snacks?
Maybe I will someday. It seems like the sort of game I would enjoy. I've watched full playthroughs of it, but like I haven't played it.
Yeah, we wouldn't be shocked by any twists or turns.
That's unfortunate
I
because
also watched a full
the twist and
playthrough
or
of
turn
Bugs.
in that game is actually like kind of a banger. It's a much better game than it has any right being.
That's why it's great, because everyone was like, Lamau, PS5 only has Bug Snacks, and then Bug Snacks came
Bug
out.
Snacks was
like,
really good.
Shit, that's a pretty good game, actually. Now everyone types Bunger in all caps in Twitch chats. Bunger.
Alright, so we just sent out to get the box from Windibanks.
Yeah, the box that moved, the moving box, it's going to be empty, probably.
Box, I mean, definitely going to be empty.
Maybe there's a clue.
But it's going to have a very obvious imprint in it.
Yeah, it was full of styrofoam with a perfect cube shape depressed into it. Incredible.
Very good.
We have a report within half an hour. Very perhaps we should recess for a short while while evidence is brought forth.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing.
I beg your pardon, Lord Francis.
This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem. You know how the Nipponese are always dropping smoke bombs everywhere they go?
They're all ninjas.
Everyone in Japan is a ninja. I have never been to Japan. My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. Oh, he's pouring it.
If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of his trial.
You were there. I was there. Weird. Wink.
Weird how I was there with a big light, a fire extinguisher in my hand, but alas, it was too much fire.
Oh well, I did my best.
A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend in his most insightful defense.
The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
Yo, the Jews! I am merely a Russian tourist. I wish to go to Crystal Palace.
Please take me to Crystal Palace.
And flips through a book. I wish to take bus to Crystal Palace. I visit. It will be blessed. And he does like an exaggerated wink at the camera.
But we can't see it because he's wearing
Under his
little
sunglasses.
The prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling.
The argument being things were too shitty inside the store to bother stealing from it.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad argument, but go off. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument.
Okay.
You didn't miss anything really, Molo guy. They're just calling us stupid because, like, stuff in the pawnbrokery was shitty, I guess. I don't know, man. It looked like he had some okay things. There was an entire stereoscope and a music disc player. Surely those aren't, like, paltry items in 1800s. Surely those cost a little bit of money.
There's an entire statue of a horse.
Like $50. Yeah, a statue of a horse. Made from fine statue materials. Statue-grade statuary. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles spawned by this fine citizen could have.
Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that this disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case?
Well, all we have is testimony. That's not proof per se. And it's technically testimony from the defendant, so they're not gonna give a shit. What's the matter,
Yes.
Reno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence. Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information. Oh no! And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury. But Ginny? Could it be that Van Zeeks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything? But maybe this could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry? What do you mean, Iris? Well, what is it that you always say, Runo? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time. Alright, the exact significance of the things that McGilded deposited with Windibank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case.
I have bad news, by the way, Steven.
Yeah?
The internet has been listening in on my conversations, apparently, because
Oh, no.
in my home menu is the home menu of YouTube is the YouTube video Kitchen Gun,
Oh no!
the original by BBC. It's sitting here in my home menu, and it was posted 14 years ago.
I know.
It's incredible that it's here. Stop listening to me, Google. Stop it. Go away.
I mean,
Stop it.
we have to have her testify.
If we leave it, we just lose, don't we? We can't go anywhere without
Yeah.
new stuff.
Right. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal.
Oh, what proposal, counsel?
While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand.
A defendant? To what end?
It's to do with the various articles deposited at Windibanks by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all.
Well, things are becoming interesting. The rumor come out. Does Lena Strad, apparently, is what my brain was trying to say. Gina Lestrade is perjurer?
Yes. I mean, she is. But it's not a murder charge.
She has... I would rather she lied under oath than be a murderer.
Yeah.
I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, the impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed your own.
I have.
Lord Van Reeks, would you care to explain that last remark?
No.
No!
Absolutely
The
not.
prosecution accepts the defense's proposal.
I will allow the defense to dig his own grave.
My opponent has offered his own shovel and everything. How polite. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself.
Oh, good. I get to do Cockney again. My favorite. Oh, sorry.
So, the court will now hear the testimony. The defendant, Miss Trina Lestrade.
I don't know why that took me so long to read.
I don't know. I thought maybe it just like froze or something for a second.
No, my brain just lagged.
It happens.
You witnesses currently in the stand may step down until further notice.
He doesn't.
You
don't have the hat on.
Yeah, that was.
Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies.
Why? As you wish. All right then, Gina, it's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here. Good luck, Bruno. I'm doing my best out here. Shit's whack.
On these mean streets.
The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Windibank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago.
Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well.
That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded.
Even though he totes didn't. The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now, here we all are again, the same players in that trial, facing each other down once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend.
Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged. That the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilded died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
Extraordinary, wasn't it? Why, how did that carriage ever douse itself in oil? A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. As indeed it does the omnibus murder itself.
Wink.
he just gets louder.
Bring that to me. While ago, me that didn't know this small box we mentioned in the course of these proceedings.
Miss Lestrade? Would you tell the court now, please, what really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean? I don't know what you mean. I already said all of what I know.
Oof. Damn. Perjure
and what
yourself.
about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? please, Miss Lestrade. This is extremely important. But...
Miss Lestrade.
Miss Lestrade...
Remember, little girl.
You shouldn't have taken those gasoline showers.
It's so crazy how he just spontaneously combusted once he stepped in the omnibus.
I knew we shouldn't
Even
have installed the faulty lighting inside of those. Oh well.
Oh man, I thought it was a safe place for my lit birthday candle collection.
Who would have known he exhaled methane? Crazy.
Crazy how that happened. Oh well. If it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office, why is that capitalized, will seek to prosecute you for perjury. Who is the Home Office? Are we the Home Office? Are they the Home Office? Do we know about our Home Office?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before.
I assume it's whoever's in charge of the prosecutors. So I guess ostensibly Strongheart? I don't know.
I don't know. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face fact, you have little credibility to lose.
Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Runo now. Oris, we're on your side.
Alright then. I'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina.
Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. Blade.
That's a weird turn of phrase.
I must confess I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilden's bond articles and that extraordinary case of the omnibus have a secrets of which I've been hitherto unaware. Oh, Miss Gina Lestrade, I don't know why I said your first name. You will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements.
This is it then. Everything's going to come out. Like Van Zeek said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears, but as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk.
My ears are very strong.
I have strong ears. Witness testimony, the real truth of the omnibus case. Proof is that Brickmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops. That's when McGill slipped the driver some tin to do a run down to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Good grief, this is outrageous. What you've just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago.
Well, I was lying back then and whatnot.
I was lying because I was threatened. The man wasn't dead yet.
Now he's dead though in a spontaneous fire that no one can prove who did it.
Wink.
It's like every character knows except for Runo somehow. Renosuke has no idea.
Not a clue. Who could it be?
As you say, my lord.
Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in McGilden's trial. It sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court. Like some kind of liar, in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes.
Local judge comes to terms with the fact that people lie in court. My God. It's like no one's ever told him before.
I know.
Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial, of this witness, and of my learned
I was
friend
just
are
doing my
entirely
job.
inexcusable.
I was just doing
don't
my
you
best
know,
with the facts I
Mr.
had at the time.
Don't you know, Mr.
That whole trial
Nipponese,
was a fuss. It was all lies.
that you're
McGill the fellows
supposed to
robbed the
just
court, just
throw
like that
your
picket pocket.
client
Don't
under
forget
the
the liar
bus?
from the east. They were all in on it together. Get wrong there, Lord of you. Mr. The lawyer there, he didn't know nothing about it.
It's like, it's like Van Zeeks is over here like, you're supposed to just toss them in. That's what do you think? Your job is to defend them? No. Do they not know how defense attorneys work?
Now
You don't
everybody,
just get to go, nah, they did it.
you do
not-
sometimes if you take a plea deal, but that's not a thing in this game.
Yeah. It's just wild. Then they're like, my god, he did his defense duties. Like, shit, I guess he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hamburger!
I don't think so. Are we really expected to believe that?
You really stitched everyone up, didn't you? What an operation to get the man off scot-free.
Unforgivable. Stop. The lies have to stop. Stop.
Stop.
Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGolded's pod articles must be brought to light.
McGolded.
McGolded.
Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing.
Words fail me. This situation is...
I'm so confused. How does court work in this world? It's so not the way it works anywhere. Never mind.
It's utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruto,
Yes, my lord?
It's like, do they think that the defense attorney always knows exactly what happened? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because like
They can only go off
He
of
was-
what their clients tell them for the most
he
part.
was literally told, like, you show up and they say, and you go, hi, I'm your defense attorney. I'm here to try to prove that you didn't do it. And then you do that. Like, I don't understand.
And then sometimes your clients lie like assholes. And it's not
Like,
your
what
fault.
what is Ryunosuke supposed to do over here? Is he supposed to just like is he supposed to go shananana and open his third fucking eye and peer through the infinite depths of time and space and see that Mr. McGilded giving that guy a new belly button and be like, ah, fool, idiot, card, dumbass. I've fucking peered through the infinite and can judge you now. Be not afraid, mortal.
I think it's one of those things like in Ace Attorney too, where like in the final trial, Phoenix Wright realizes that Matt did do it, and that's him deciding like, okay, well the truth is more important than being right all the time. I think this is
but,
Ryunosuke doing that. Unfortunately, the entire world is like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah, like I get that that's like a story beat, but it doesn't make any fucking sense in the concept of a court of law, because like even if you think your client did it, the best you can do as a defense attorney is not take the case or like drop out. You can you have a duty to not be like, yeah, he totally did it, man.
Mm-hmm.
It did. He told me he did it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that would only get the entire case thrown out.
Right.
It's gone.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord. Blimey, Mr. Naruto. What's he
supposed to do? Use a magical stone that tells you when someone is lying?
No, that hasn't been invented yet.
That Yeah, no, that hasn't.
They haven't
Well, I
invented
mean,
magic rocks yet.
no, I mean they have the rocks. We need a mystic to
To
give it the
enchant them, yeah.
Sharingan or whatever. Yeah, and unfortunately we don't have a mystic laying around.
No.
I mean, Sasada's better in every way except being a mystic. Unfortunately,
That's true. That's true.
the one place where she is not as strong.
Now, Council, proceed with the cross-examinations.
Okay. This is weird because we're not like
You think-
explicitly trying to prove a lie here. I think we're just supposed to press everything.
Yeah, basically,
Hold
because she
it.
is still not saying all of the things that she's thinking.
And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Miss Lestrade? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats. Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all.
Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGillicuddy was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord.
That's what he told me I had to say. But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were McGilden and the victim
False
acquaintances?
testimony.
I
Belay.
don't know. Well, I did hear him talking a lot.
I'm the terror of the belfry.
What were they talking about? Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
I believe you let out an involuntary scream.
Yeah, that's what gave me away. See, you saw the disc. Hold it! Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor.
Well, this disc ever belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but McGill had picked it up pretty smartish. Then he sat with a cove with a knife in his belly up on the seat. What did he say to you at that time? He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me a load of questions. Like what my name was and where I lived and that. Asked me about being a diver too. But after a while, what happened in the carriage was noticed. Noticed? Yes. That's how people would read that sentence. Yes, right. First there was a kind of rapping noise.
Yo,
What's
a
up,
hip
no?
to the hop, a hippie, a hippie to the
The hip hip hop, you don't stop, a rocket to the bang bang.
Bang, bang, boogie set up, jump, the boogie, the rhythm, the boogie, the beat.
There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. That's right. Yeah, those two guys. They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed a cove with a knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGilda got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the two coves from the roof ran off to fetch the slops.
If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident.
So that left... Wrong accent. So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene. Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside.
Right, yes, he also testified.
Ah, poor
A
Beppo.
fellow who went by the name of Beppo.
A normal name
You
to
know.
have.
A normal English name, if memory serves.
Poor Beppo. What did McGilded and the driver say to each other? I don't know what happened, and stuff like that, mainly. So McGilded slipped the driver some tin to do a run at the pawn shop roundabout. Hold it. That pawn shop obviously being Windibanks on Baker Street.
But for just a moment, Counsel. Do you mean to tell me
Oh
that
yeah, I
the
guess
driver
he
gave
did.
false testimony in the trial as well?
Oh yeah, I guess he did.
Listen. Perhaps the excursion to the Pombrocoli slipped his mind when he was in the stand.
Indeed, Lord Ramsix.
McGilded took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up all careful-like before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it has got to be worth a few bob. Yes, Gina was sure the disc must be worth more than Mr. Windibank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the top pawnbrokery. The driver looked pretty happy when McGilded flashed some brass in his face. He went off running like at a lick. Then the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from a drag's cabin.
Truly indecipherable what she's saying.
I know. Hold it! I love Cockney, it's great.
A beautiful language, French is.
Threatened you how exactly? Told me I'd only be able to scalp her if I did exactly what he said.
Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said.
Which was...
He told me I'd have to hang on to a ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
Ticket? Well, I never.
Said if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in luck, to stop it being forfeited. He left me with some brass to pay for it.
But really, why on earth would Mr. McGilded have done such a thing? Causing his overcoat at the pawnbroker before the arrival of the police makes no sense at all.
There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. When McGilded had the driver deposit at Windibanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs. Anyway, after that he let me go, so I legged it before the coppers showed up. Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that. Jenny's really put her faith in you, Uno. Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial's over. So I need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible. Time to really go for it. Press her on every statement. I suppose I should. Did I not? Oh, and another thing. What's that? Look at those two. Isn't it strange they've been whispering to each other the entire time? Yes, that is strange. It looks like they're having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Yeah, I guess we can press them and then just bother them, huh?
Hold it!
Excuse me.
Hey!
Is there something
a
you'd
court
like to
over
share
here.
with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon? Inspector! Mr. Graydon!
Now,
I don't know, something like that.
Blimey, try to give me a heart attack.
You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about?
Discussion with this fella. Pull the other one, sunshine. You think I've got anything to talk about with a Shea agent like this?
And I have no... Then wrong accent. And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he've deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been
Shit.
negotiating.
Hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Strahd. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
It would appear that on the night, 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGilded took what he wanted by force. At the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way. Although I don't understand why as yet.
And 2 days ago, precisely after the omnibus incident, Mr. McGilded's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited.
I didn't know what all should do with a ticket. I mean, the cove died right after his trial. I knew that.
So, you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own.
Well, why not, eh? They were only gonna get forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
Mr. Strahd, it would appear Mr.
Maybe it isn't Joe Biden's America, by the way. Sorry.
It would appear that Mr. McGilded was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that might be?
Eh? I ain't get a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He was probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame him for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime. My lord! The evidence your lordship requested has been located and is ready for the court's inspection, sir. I was wondering when we were going to get to this, because we really didn't have a lot more to discuss. Mysterious little box deposited by McGilded 2 months ago. And we don't know that that's the box that was deposited 2 months ago. It would be whack if it wasn't,
Yeah,
though.
I'm pretty sure.
There's no doubt in my mind that it's a key piece of evidence in this far-reaching puzzle. To be continued. Alright, I believe we are now heading into the last section, which we are not going to finish tonight, but we'll go for a little bit. Because the last time I thought we would be finished in 2 hours when we got to the last section, we super duper weren't.
we were a little over.
How will the article in question, is it?
It looks like a music box.
Yeah, it does look like a music box.
I thought there'd be something in the box, but that might explain
Maybe
if
it's just
they
a music box.
didn't take the box. That's
Yeah.
maybe they just wanted to play the disc to see what it said,
Yeah, maybe.
or what.
Well, I mean, they didn't have the
sound
disc. The
it
cops
made.
had it.
Oh, the cops had the disc, so maybe they were interrupted before they could take the box. So they figured they'd just leave it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that could be because, like, fucking, Naruhodo and Shulms ran in there, like, while they were doing shit. Or maybe they just opened it up because they thought there was something valuable, and maybe they didn't know what was in it, so they opened it up, saw that there was nothing, and went, well, and put it back.
It's just some dumb music box.
A small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilded 2 months ago.
And on the night of Mr. Windibank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick, quick, let's open it and see what's inside.
Prepare for disappointment.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a music box.
Oh, it's super a music box.
Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems.
Wow. Although in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case.
It would appear that the box houses a miniature a music box.
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that is the device for the playback of this disc, my lord.
Let's hear it. Come on, let's go. I want to know what it is. What does it say? What does it do?
So, we have here the means to play back Mr. McGilder's disc, deposit at Winterbanks at much the same time.
Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilded's disc. It was Thrice Fired Mason's.
Yeah.
It was the disc of the victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? We'd understand that the brickmaker is trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilded.
I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord. Come on, I want so badly to know what's on that fucking thing. I've wanted to know what's on that thing for like 6 months when we first seen it.
Right?
Yes, very well.
But someone's gonna try to stop it because they don't
Yeah.
want that secret getting
Fucking
out.
Gregson is gonna break it or some shit.
Yeah, something stupid.
Let them go out now and listen to this curious disc at last.
Yeah, that was Gregson.
Wait, my lord. Good grief. What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
Music box and the disc are, well, they're unrelated to the case. Wrong.
No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music.
Objection! This disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what's happening. What's happened. Rather.
The prosecution has
Yeah, this
no
is Van Zeek's going for the fucking
objection.
kill shot.
Van Zeeks is like, oh no, I'm cool with you playing the disc. What did that say? Van Zeeks cut him off.
But no, but no, that piece of evidence is police property now. You can't.
Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it's the policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Something like that.
Something like
No
that.
one in Blaze, please. Play the disc.
I hope it's like a blackmail disc. I hope it's Lord Strongheart gain anal sex.
It's Morse
It's Morse
code.
code. It's motherfucking Morse code. That's so smart. I was wondering how they were gonna record a message on a music disc, because like I was thinking, and like Mola guy said, I was like, the problem with music discs is, for the most part, they only make little pinging noises. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they normally don't have a way to like have more interesting sounds than that.
Yeah,
It's because they used Morse code.
that's really good.
So the communications expert's gonna fucking know,
Instantly, yeah.
right?
And that's also
I assume-
why, that's also why Mr. fucking Dick Grayson over there knows.
Ah, Mr. Gregrin. Got it. All right.
Well, what on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music.
No,
These newfangled hip-hop
it's just the
beats.
same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence.
Hmm. Mr. Graydon?
This really is priceless.
Why does
After
he
all that,
feel
the
need-
music box is broken.
Broken?
No,
it can't
it's
be,
not.
can it?
Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom.
That's exactly what happened. That's what I was going to say. Dropped it on the way back. Just
Yep, 100%.
100%. It's always be out. I was walking. I was eating my fish and chips. Me fish and chips, as you know.
Kicked it out of his hands, all did.
I hate that guy. I hate that guy. You see this guy. This guy. I'm gonna give you the history here. He fucked my wife. He did. So I
So I kicked a music box out of his hands. Seemed fair.
kicked the music box out. Was dumb fuck. That'll show him. Fuck my wife.
Apparently, analog audio recording wasn't a thing until the phonograph in the 40s. Oh, okay.
The phonograph.
Look at this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know
phonograph.
phonographs could were a thing to record voices.
Right.
But like, I'm pretty sure you could have done it more rudimentarily even before that. Because I saw someone play a voice on a plastic cup, and it wasn't quite legible, but it was close.
Mm.
So I didn't know if they.
Wait, it was earlier
I'd
than that,
also
though, right?
more. Oh, it was earlier. Because I was gonna say 40 seems a little late.
Yeah. Like, when did Alexander Graham
didn't-
Bell come along?
Well, that's not recording.
Well,
No,
yes.
that's transmitting.
That's fair.
That's
you know what? You've got me there.
I was gonna say, didn't Wizard of Oz come out before the 1940s? Didn't it come out like 1938? And that's a full movie with voice acting? Maybe I'm wrong about when that movie came out. That may have come out much later.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna look that up quick. Hold on. We're all gonna learn a factoid.
Well, I'm just gonna Google.
Wizard
Get our Google.
of Oz. Wizard of Oz came out in 1939.
Ah, you were.
So
you
they
were
must have
extremely
been able
close.
to record. See, that's why he wants to go back to 1939, the year the Wizard of Oz came out.
It's genius.
The
It all
phonograph
comes
came out in
back around.
1870. Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds more
So
correct.
around now-ish in game times, right?
Yeah, so they would have the ability to do it, but a music box.
Music
wouldn't
box
really
is a
make
lot
sense
more
for it.
subtle.
Yeah. Which is when wax recording was used. Yeah, because a music box, especially like a disc one, is only gonna really have a limited range.
Right.
Pretty basic. Pretty basic.
Well, with much regret, I fear this court must accept this music box offers little in the way of clues.
No, I don't buy that.
Are you ready to move on, counsel?
Come on. Yes, alright, it does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanated from the fuse box possibly be a new quote? Yes. It's Morse
Yes.
code. It's Morse code. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord.
Good lord! But how could it be?
Yeah, I think we had pinned that down, right, Molo guy? That was sort of 1890s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
So like, it wouldn't even have been new technology. They would have been like, yeah, we have phonographs. Well, for decades. Like, but it's playing on an old-timey radio, and it's a barbershop
Look at
quartet. So it's like, look at this
phonograph.
phonograph.
Surely someone's done that.
I hope so. If not, we could be pioneers. I just love the transatlantic accent.
It's
I
really
love
good.
that some guy was like, hey, everyone should speak English exactly the same way, and the only person who said yes, I agree, was all of Hollywood.
It's perfect.
Wild
10
to
out
me.
of 10.
Yeah.
It's an abomination, counsel.
Seems a little harsh. Jesus.
Mere noise. I fail to see how it could have any meaning whatsoever.
Me whenever Swissy has an opinion.
Me, whenever Swissy says words.
Got him. It does sound
That's all we
strange,
can go
I
on?
agree. But
I
there's
can't
one
see.
thing bothering me. Yeah, we can clip this for later. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, and as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge.
If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this.
Oh.
Are you a fucking moron? Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music.
Not supposed to be music. So, this can't be a very long message, though, right? It sounds like it's a pretty short loop.
Yeah.
And it takes, like, it's usually a series of. I mean, some characters only one note.
Right.
But I think a lot of characters are 2 or 3, aren't they?
Yeah.
So is it just like a word? Or maybe it's
be.
an acronym.
I don't know.
What if it's a cipher? What if there's layers to this?
Oh, God.
Like an onion, or an
Fucking-
ogre, or
Fucking they make us
parfait.
figure out both. They make us learn both Morse code and a substitution cipher, just because fuck you, I guess. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Ugh. Look at that! The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runo.
Objection!
The sound we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are.
It's Morse code.
Do enlighten us, my Nepalese friend.
Well,
Surely you have an idea in mind. You wouldn't just fire off randomly willy-nilly, right? That would be crazy.
I would like to call the parrot to the stand.
Bring me the parrot. It's just that meme of the girl crying, but it's Edgeworth saying, "Please, just shut the fuck up. Just have a normal case."
That's really good. Oof, that's an incredible mental image.
I love the idea that Edgeworth is just overwhelmingly distraught at all times, and then Phoenix is like, "Bring me the parrot." Surely you have an idea in mind, because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument.
Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness.
They've got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yet. Runo. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? Really? The way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. Have we learned at Morse code at any point in this game?
Nope.
I don't think so. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Something's just struck me, Runo. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes.
Yeah, I wonder who it could
Yes,
be.
it's a familiar sound.
Someone on the jury?
Actually, Iris,
On the jury?
I was just
stand?
thinking exactly the same thing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, she told us about Morse code.
I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If it says that the sound produced by his music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, Counsel?
All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard. It's all pointing to one single answer now.
The prosecution demands that my learned Nepalese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this wild, latest speculation.
Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box disc is... Oh shit.
How do we prove it, though?
Yeah, that's why I'm like... Newspaper? No, it wasn't that. Was there anything in the case notes? No, I don't think so.
Dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot. Yeah, I was gonna say Morse code.
Yeah.
SOS I meant to say. That's the only thing I know in Morse code is SOS. Because it's dot 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 dash 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 dot dot dot.
Yep.
Easy to remember.
What the hell do we
I don't know. I just don't know what we show
What are we presenting?
to show that it is Morse code.
Like if we had the option to present a person, I would be like, the juror knows.
I can't. Can we?
Stereoscope. This doesn't have anything in it, does it? No.
No.
Let's just go through everything one by one. It's not either of these photographs. Those are unhelpful. I don't think it's the guns.
I would be wild and out if it was
This
a
picture
gun.
has nothing in it except a dead man. The autopsy report is not helpful.
Because of Magic Tree House.
There was something on the back here. Hold on. Was this it? There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry Mode classifies secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would someone be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Bruno? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Grexy running from pillar to post at the moment. Examine the music box?
Not-
We don't have... It's not in our evidence yet. No.
Can we back out and try again?
No.
I mean, surely it wouldn't have let us get here without a thing to present, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like...
We must be missing
We must
something.
have it.
Unless it is supposed to just a forced loss.
Well, they don't usually take...
I would
They,
be okay.
they don't usually, like, take points away for a forced loss.
Yeah. I'm okay with you looking this one up.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
we know
unclear.
what the answer's supposed to
We
be.
know it's Morse code, yeah. Alright, let's see here. Walk through. There we go. Strategywiki.org, don't fail me now. Come on. Okay, we're in part 4. The newspaper.
It is the newspaper.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we were looking at the article, and we were like, maybe. It just wasn't very clear.
Take that!
Raise paper, Council. Headline is Pawnbroker perishes in Pickpocket's plunder. Hardly supportive of your case.
No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page.
Further down, Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. It's a very serious matter. We investigate at the highest level, I understand.
I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries.
And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams?
Of course.
Juror number 5, your input, please. Yeah. Stop. Me, sir? Whatever is the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports. Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? Hmm? You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code?
Seems that way.
Order, please, everyone, order. This is...
Okay, yeah, there's a lot more shit in this trial. We're definitely not finishing it.
This is high treason.
Sorry,
So
I
it's treason,
said
then.
high treason. Yeah, I know. I said high treason and immediately thought of Star Wars and laughed. Such is my life.
It do be like that
Deserving of
sometimes.
capital punishment.
Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? What is capital punishment?
The sorts of word I'd half expect you to know.
I've never been caught for being tourist. Only thing I am.
For our solid government's confidence information, household agents will surely pay almost any bribes.
Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, Mr. McGilded perished, and all the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery.
My word!
In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country,
It would reveal an act of high treason, punishable by death.
so the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. And in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon?
Bah. You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous.
So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you?
Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then, by all means, counter the charges.
Bah.
Sorry.
The prosecution Shut up, Stephen. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense.
Bah.
Boy,
Delighted,
I'm a
I'm
Dracula. It's treason, that flashlight emoji. Flashlight emoji is really powerful in that.
Witnesses reminded that the crime on the scrutiny in the trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. have we the most
Flagitious?
offense?
Flagitious?
I thought it was I always thought it was flagitious.
Well, there's a G
Let
in
me look
there.
it up. Yeah.
I mean, it might be a silent G. I haven't seen that
I
word.
don't
This
know.
game is giving us a lot of fucking vocabulary.
Flagitious. Flagitious means criminal or villainous.
Then fucking say that.
Flagitious.
This game,
Man, I don't like
fucking
that word.
requires us to get a fucking thesaurus every fucking 5 minutes.
Have we the most flagitious offense?
And now you're doing it.
Flagitious of...
My dear, that's a flagitious. You've sauntered at me. I'm just shitting here. Here I am shitting myself.
I've been
Shitting
shitting
myself.
him
I've been
this
shitting all
time.
day. I haven't even stood from shitting. I've just been shitting and shitting and shitting evermore.
I've
And
sat here
you come
long
on real
enough.
these. and you bring these flagitious offenses. What the fuck?
Let's just get to the testimony so we can stop.
What are we doing? Oh, weird, goofy kind of night. Thursday
Yeah.
do be hitting different today.
Woo!
Woo! Happy Friday the wait, no, it's only the 6th.
Happy
damn
Friday
it.
the 6th, everybody.
Shut up. I thought it was next week. Fuck off.
No, I
Leave
did that.
me
I did that
alone.
earlier today. I looked at my calendar to check when I work next. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, I get to play D&D tomorrow. And then I remembered that's next week. Anyway,
What's the law of this land makes it capital punishment? But a heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. I urge you to bear in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon.
yeah, just lie in such a way that you're not implicated for either high treason or murder.
It's a very simple request, really. Don't give me that face.
What again?
God?
Who was it?
You two idiots.
Ah, the Skulkin brothers.
All right, well, I guess we'll stop here. Because I feel like this is going to be a fucking 10-minute detour.
Yeah. I like these two dumbasses, but they're very long-winded. Because they'll just blatantly lie, and then we'll say, like, so it's this? And they'll be like, no. And then they'll be like, shit.
Anyway, that'll do it for us tonight, folks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. We'll be back tomorrow for, who knows. Bye.
Goodbye.